perhaps even now there is still someone you cannot forget. You still hope they will message you come back, or one day finally recognize your worth. You believe their departure is what took away your inner peace. But the Buddha viewed this kind of pain in a completely different way. What keeps you trapped is not the person who left. It is the fact that you are still chasing someone who has already chosen to walk out of your life. Today, we will explore why. In a small village at the foot of the Himalayas lived a man named Arjun. From the outside, he seemed to have everything many people dream of: a stable job, a beautiful home, and a woman who loved him deeply. Yet within himself, Arjun had never truly known peace. He was always afraid of losing something, losing his money, losing his status, losing the image of success he had worked so hard to build. More than anything, he was afraid of losing the woman he loved. Little by little, that fear turned his love into control and insecurity. Then one day, the woman quietly walked away. There had been no betrayal and no terrible argument. She simply said one sentence that left Arjun frozen. "I am tired of you being more afraid of losing me than truly loving me." From that moment on, Arjun believed his life had fallen apart because he had lost her. What he did not yet understand was that the breakup was only the beginning of a much greater lesson, one the Buddha had revealed more than 2,000 years ago. After the breakup, Arjun spent night after night staring at his phone. He reread every old message, looked through photographs that had slowly faded with time, and kept asking himself the same question: why did she leave me? He believed that if he could somehow bring her back, all of his suffering would disappear. But the Buddha taught that the mind often deceives us. It keeps our attention fixed on the surface of our pain while hiding its true source. What Arjun was really chasing was no longer the woman herself. What he could not let go of was the feeling of having been loved, chosen, and valued by someone else. When she walked away, it was not only the relationship that fell apart. The image he held of himself collapsed as well. This is why so many people continue chasing those who no longer belong in their lives. They are not truly chasing another person. They are trying to hold on to the sense of safety, acceptance, and self-worth they once received from that person. If you have ever tried to hold on to someone who had already chosen to leave a 1-inch the comments. The next lesson may help you understand why the tighter we hold on, the more deeply we suffer. Lost in days of despair, Arjun eventually found his way to an ancient temple nestled at the foot of the Himalayas. There, an elderly monk quietly poured a cup of tea before handing him a cup filled with water. "Hold this for me," the monk said. Arjun did as he was asked. After 1 minute, it felt effortless. After 10 minutes, his arm began to ache. After 30 minutes, the pain spread through his wrist. Nearly an hour later, he could bear it no longer. "This cup is too heavy," he said. The old monk smiled gently. "The cup has not become any heavier. What is hurting you is the fact that you have been holding it for too long." Then he looked directly into Arjun's eyes and said, "Pain is the same. Memories are the same. A person who has left your life is the same. They are not what keeps hurting you. What exhausts you is your refusal to put them down." It was one of the deepest lessons in Buddhist wisdom. We often believe we suffer because the past is too heavy, because someone was too important, or because life has been unfair. But the truth is, we continue to wound ourselves by carrying what has already come to an end. The day you find the courage to set that cup down, you will realize that peace never truly left you. You were simply unwilling to let go. After a long silence, Arjun looked at the old monk and asked with a heavy heart, "If I truly love someone, how can I possibly let them go?" The monk smiled, his eyes as calm as a lake at sunrise. "Who told you that letting go means you stop loving?" Arjun froze. It was the first time he had ever heard an answer like that. The monk continued softly, "What has been hurting you was never love. What has been hurting you is attachment. According to the Buddha's teachings, genuine love does not create suffering. What creates suffering is the desire to possess, to keep someone by your side forever, and to expect them to live according to your wishes. When we say, 'I can't live without you,' or 'you have to stay with me forever,' that is no longer pure love. It is the ego clinging out of fear of loss. The monk bent down and picked up a golden leaf that had just fallen into the temple courtyard. "Do you love the sunset?" he asked. Arjun nodded. "Then when the sun disappears below the horizon, do you become angry because it doesn't stay?" Arjun remained silent. "Do you love the birds that fly across the sky?" "Yes." "Then do you try to lock them in a cage, just so you can see them every day?" Arjun lowered his head. The monk went on. "People believe that to love someone is to keep them forever. But nature has never taught us that lesson. The sun still sets. The river never stops flowing. Leaves still fall from the trees when autumn arrives. Only human beings resist change, and in doing so create their own suffering." In that moment, Arjun realized something that had escaped him for years. He had never loved with freedom. He had loved through fear, through control, through the hope that someone else could fill the emptiness within his own heart. And the moment he turned love into a place to seek his own worth, he unknowingly transformed it into a chain that imprisoned them both. The old monk looked at Arjun and gently asked, "Do you know why you still can't let her go?" Arjun quietly shook his head. The monk replied, "Because you believe you didn't just lose a person. You believe you lost your own worth." Those words left Arjun speechless. He remembered that when she was by his side, he always felt loved, chosen, and needed. But after she left, he began to believe that he was no longer enough. From that moment on, he kept trying to win her back, not only because he loved her, but because he wanted to recover the feeling that he was worthy. The Buddha taught that when your happiness depends on another person, you will always live in fear. You fear that they will change. You fear that they will leave. You fear that one day you will no longer be loved. And it is this attachment that turns love into a burden. A truly free person is not someone who has never loved deeply. A truly free person is someone who no longer needs another person to validate their worth. When you learn to recognize your own value from within, you no longer have to chase anyone just to feel loved. If today's teaching has touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video so more people can discover the path back to inner peace. That afternoon, the old monk led Arjun to the garden behind the temple. Beneath the branches of an ancient tree, golden leaves drifted quietly to the ground with the breeze. The monk bent down, picked up one of the fallen leaves and asked, "Do you see this leaf resisting the moment it has to leave the branch?" Arjun gently shook his head. Nature does not resist change. Only human beings try to hold on to what was never meant to stay forever. The more you fight against impermanence, the more suffering you create for yourself. That night, Arjun returned to his familiar room. He picked up his phone and quietly looked through the old photographs once again. For the first time in months, he did not break down in tears. He did not ask himself why everything had happened. He simply smiled and gently deleted them. Not because he had stopped loving her, and not because he wanted to erase the past, but because he had finally understood that some of life's most beautiful memories are meant to be carried with gratitude, not clung to in desperation. The memories were still there, but they no longer controlled his life. In the very moment he let go, Arjun felt his heart become lighter, not because the pain had disappeared, but because he had finally stopped fighting the truth. Some people enter our lives only to teach us a lesson, and then quietly walk away. The next morning, Arjun no longer woke up hoping for a message. He no longer wondered whether she still thought about him. Instead, he sat quietly in the temple courtyard, listening to the birds sing and simply feeling the rhythm of his own breath. For the first time in many months, he realized that peace does not come from having someone by your side. It comes from a mind that has finally stopped clinging. The Buddha taught that true freedom is not about holding on to everything you love. True freedom is knowing that no person and no circumstance has the power to control the peace within your heart. The moment you stop chasing people who have not chosen you, you also stop losing yourself. If today you decide to let go of something you have been carrying for far too long, leave a 1-inch the comments below. It may be the very first step toward rediscovering the peace and freedom you have always deserved. In the end, Arjun realized that the one who truly healed him was neither the old monk nor the woman who had left him. It was the moment he stopped chasing what was already gone that opened the door to freedom. Some people enter your life to bring you love. Some arrive to teach you a lesson. And some leave so that you can finally find your way back to yourself. Do not spend your life chasing someone who no longer wishes to stay. Instead, invest that energy in nurturing your own spirit, embracing the present moment, and learning to love yourself a little more each day. For as the Buddha taught, when the mind is no longer attached, peace blossoms naturally. By now, perhaps you understand that freedom does not begin when someone comes back. Freedom begins the moment you stop chasing what has already chosen to leave your life. You may still think about them. There may still be days when an old memory suddenly stirs your heart. But now you know that you do not have to hold on to the past to prove that the love was real. All you need to do is be grateful for what it gave you, then continue moving forward with a lighter heart. If today's journey has given you a new perspective, subscribe to Healing Journey Buddhist Meditation and continue walking with us as we explore the timeless wisdom of the Buddha and discover the peace that already exists within. And right now, another video is waiting for you on your screen: how to let go of emotional attachment and reclaim your inner peace. Click on it and continue your journey, because sometimes the most beautiful thing you will ever find is not another person. It is a more peaceful version of yourself.